evening, everyone, and welcome to the penultimate round of Division 2 here in the Midwest F1 League for Season 3. Tonight we're in Le Castellet for 25 miles east of Marseille for the French Grand Prix here at Circuit Paul Ricard. 15 corners make up this 5.8-kilometer circuit with 9 to the right and 6 to the left. 2 DRS zones here with the biggest opportunity for overtaking being the 90-degree left-hander into Turn 1 and finally Turns 8 and 9. That little section there. Top speed is expected to be around 205 miles per hour, so it should be a very high-paced, high-action race today. Virtual Pirelli have given us the same range of tires that we had last week at Hungary with the C4 soft, C3 mediums, and C2 hard compound tires. And we're going to get into tire strategy very, very shortly, once we get into race time, because it's going to be an important one to talk about. And, going into this qualifying session, there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made tonight. With this being the penultimate round, people are they going to go a little bit more conservative and trying to, get this result? Or are they going to go all out, flat out action, trying to get, their last chances of getting the good positions in? Because I know next week we go to Singapore. That's it. I don't know why I forgot Singapore. So we're going to just keep an eye on who. We're going to keep an eye on who fits what tire compounds tonight, as I think definitely being on the mediums is going to be the most helpful thing. So I'm going to turn the telemetry back on. So stay tuned to the end of the broadcast for two major announcements. As looks like M. Galloway and also CRL Pocket Rocket will be serving their qualifying bans. So Text-to-Speech making his Midwest F1 debut tonight. And he's in the BWT Racing Point, in for Soy Loco. Murphy first out on track. Pocket Rocket, he's being subbed in for Fusail. Now, I'm a little disappointed that Fusail wasn't going to try to make it go back to back to back. However, I definitely know that CRL Pocket Rocket is a very, very talented driver, and very excited to see what he can do, although he does have a quali ban for tonight. So that's going to be kind of unfortunate for him. And then finally, Galloway steps up for the No-Granator in the Red Bull. Now, M. Galloway last week, as you remember, had a pretty decent race going. And, had the incident going into Turn 1, collected Ray 46, arguably. It's funny, actually, his teammate this week was about to have the race of the season, arguably, for him. And then, unfortunately, Galloway kind of did a little panic maneuver. And unfortunately, ended Ray 46's race. And from the news desk of Monkey Mafia, sunny start to the race, clouds later but no rain. As we're going to take you on board with Murph and Selly here. See if I can get my notes up. Come on, guys. So let's start the lap overview for the circuit Paul Ricard. You'll see some drivers using a moderately downforce car account for both high speeds and tight corners. Turns 1 and 2 definitely look to have the right-hand lane going into Turn 1 and brake just after the 100-meter board. You can probably carry more speed through the corner by letting off towards the apex of Turn 1, then look to hug the curbs on the inside of 2. Beware of track limits there. Turns 3 and 4, a good entry is absolutely critical into Turn 3 in order to chain the rest of the corners. Look to brake right after the 50-meter board, and be careful not to invalidate hitting the apex through 3, and definitely be easy on the brakes through 4, as it's very easy to lock up, and then be sure to have a tight apex through 5, and don't hit the throttle too early on exit. Now, through Turn 6 and 7, going easy into Turn 6 makes the corner as short as possible for the build-up into 7, which can almost be taken flat out depending on the setup. Now, Turns 8 and 9, you got a couple options here. You can either go brake a little bit shorter and try to coast through the corner, or you can try to brake a little bit later and risk locking up and losing a little bit more time. So definitely a little bit of pondering to be happening there, and it looks like Murphy has already invalidated his lap. Turn 10 is completely flat out. Just beware of track limits on exits and being too heavy on the throttle through the curbs. Now, Turn 11, you have to pretty much alternate between going 50% on and off the throttle and brake to make that a smooth corner. Be very careful there. Turn 12 really gets tighter as you go through the corner, so consistently being on the brakes will keep that corner very short, and you won't have to worry about track limits on exit. Now, Turn 13, 14, and 15. 14 has the pit entry on the right-hand side of the circuit, so definitely try to keep to the left side, and hugging the curb through 14 is going to be your answer to getting a very wide apex through 15 and carrying more speed through it, and that is your track guide to the circuit Paul Ricard. As we saw, Murphy, though, did invalidate his lap. Saffron City, look at him go. He's on provisional pole. And as I say that, Uncle Ben's Rice puts in an absolute flyer, and then Haytite does just that as well. Haytite Gaming TTV setting a 129.069. Now, something with the Ferrari team, it would appear that some of the Ferrari drivers across the league are sporting a helmet homage to the late Carlos Reutemann, who passed away yesterday, aged 79, who is one of the greatest Argentine drivers, not just in F1, but in motorsport in general. And it's good to see kind of the community come together for that sort of thing. I'm not really sure if Haytite is doing that sort of thing or not, because I wasn't aware that I wasn't aware on if he was or not. But, you know, that's a pretty cool thing. So Haytite Gaming. So he's fitted the softs, and I feel like that is kind of a bold strategy, to say the least, as, you know, going on the softs, I didn't think was going to be the move in this qualifying session. I really thought that staying on the mediums and giving yourself a better strategy for race time was going to be the answer, and apparently, if you're the majority of the field, you think differently, which we can get into just then. And it looks like, who's this off over in La La Land? It looks like El Capitano, also followed by, I believe that is the Alfa Romeo of Murfincelli, who apparently is P7. Nope, that's Monkey Mafia. Why did I say Murfincelli? Couldn't have been more wrong there. The Puff Digital has moved his way onto provisional pole in that McLaren. So, you know, he's put in a really good lap, but the problem is that he's going to have to really go easy on the tires. And as you can see, locking up into going into the pit lane, that's probably not the answer that he wanted to hear. And I think also a problem with being on the soft compound is that it's going to turn into a two-stop race. Now, I feel like, well, we can get into that a little bit later, but I feel like qualifying on the soft compound probably not going to be the move here, especially if you're going to want to stay onto that one-stop strategy. But next across the line is Chief Braids, and he's going to stay P6 unless he's just starting a new fastest lap now. Let's see how he does. And yeah, as you can see there, it's being easy through the throttle through turns 1 and 2, kind of what I expect. Oh, well, never mind, he's not even on a flyer. Let's check in with Spoolendub. Let's see how he does, because he's the next across the line. Also, beware of pit exit. Actually goes into turn 1 on the right-hand side. I think whoever designed that portion of the track compared to the rest of it is a buffoon. But as we see here, Spoolendub going into 3 and 4. Now, he did not take that corner, turn 3, as close to the apex as he wanted. And I tell you what, he's lost a lot of time there. And let's see, yeah, so he's going to keep it kind of slow through turn 6. And is he going to be able to take 7 flat out? Yes, he is. Though I think he definitely lost a lot of time there in Sector 1. A lot of time that could have easily been kept on. And I feel like if he did, we'll have to see how the rest of the lap goes. But I feel like he was on a pretty decent lap as well. At this point, I think, going through Sector 1, that wasn't the case. However, see how he handles turn 10. Galloway and Cyril Pocket Rocket have taken their mandatory qualifying retirements. Looks like Spoolendub. I mean, some drivers will take that corner a lot closer to the inside. In fact, that's sometimes what I'll find myself doing, is taking as much of turn 10 as you can, and then getting a straight shot, or turn 11 rather, and taking a straight shot right into turn 12. And it looks like Spoolendub having a big lockup going through turn 15, and he's going to come to the line now. And he's going to go P13, so not a terrible lap from Spoolendub. I definitely think he can shave off. What is he at? He's a second and a half behind the leader. I feel like 5/10 of that was just going through turns 3, 4, and 5, to be honest. I feel like he's definitely capable of more. Now, Will Ans, one of the drivers that caught the memo of starting on the medium compound. Now, he's definitely going to risk starting a little bit further down the grid. However, I don't think he's got anything to worry about right now. He's already locked in to Division 1 promotion. He's going to start his timed lap now. Let's see how Will Ans takes his lap. He's going to hug that right side of the circuit. He's going to brake just a little bit before the 50-meter board, a little bit before what I would have, although I'm also not driving and I'm also not good. Brakes a lot later than I would have expected into 3. Does a good job of holding the line still through 4. Through 5, and wow, Will Ans, I was going to say, was having a mastery of that Sector 1 at the moment, but he's just trashed that timed lap, unfortunately. As as I said on the exit of turn number 5, you got to really be careful not to hit the throttle too early, or you will get a lot more wheel spin than you may initially anticipate, and that's exactly what's happened to Will Ants. Thankfully, he was able to keep the car off the barriers. As you can see, he definitely gave himself a task with trying to save the car. And it looks like next to the line is going to be Humble Hippo in that Alfa Romeo machine. Now he's fit the soft compound tires. Going to go a little bit wider maybe through turn 15 just to get himself a little bit more room to build up some speed going to the line here. And as you can see, he's taking all of the right-hand side of the circuit. On the gas through turns 1 and 2. Doing a good job so far. I like the start of this lap. Braking right before the 50-meter board, hugging the apex through 3, hugging it then again through 4. Giving himself a great line through 5. I tell you what, this looks to be an absolutely splendid lap. Although I think right there he maybe went a little bit wider out of turn 5 than he would have liked. And I think maybe that's cost him just a little bit more time than he would have enjoyed through 6 and 7. Into turn 8, he's going to brake right past the 100-meter board. He's going to kind of coast through 8 and 9. This definitely looks like a great lap so far from Humble Hippo. He set a purple sector 1. He's into sector 3 now. He hasn't gone purple there, but we'll have to see what he can do. And he comes out of turn 10, still flying, braking a lot later than I've seen some of these drivers through turn 11. And wow, he's carried a lot of speed through that corner. Capitano has gone and left the session. Unfortunate for him, but I tell you what, Humble Hippo might just be on a flying lap right now. I tell you what, pun intended. Maybe didn't get turn 14 correctly there, and maybe not what he wanted. Maybe lost just a little bit of time through 14, didn't really take up as much of the curbing on the inside as I would have liked to see. But he's going to go P5, 0.3 of a second off the lead, and a very solid lap that was. And Puff Digital has gone and retired from the session now. I don't recall him having a penalty of any sort. However, he's on pole at the moment. Saved the tires. He's within the 128 range, which, what's about a tenth and a half between him and Haytite. Almost 2 tenths, actually. Closer to 2 tenths. Next to the line looks to be the McLaren of Chief Braids. Just over 6 minutes to go in this quali session here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Down through turn 1 now. He's going to brake a lot earlier than I thought he was going to. I tell you what, he took that corner. I think, honestly, he appears to be in low fuel mode or something. I mean, I don't know. I was kind of hoping he'd put in a flying lap, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Well, while we have a moment, let's go on to our constructor and promotion battles for Division 2. Now, I tell you what, this day right here is going to belong to either AlphaTauri or Williams, because that is not a far gap whatsoever. AlphaTauri lead at 404. Williams not far behind whatsoever at 397. Ferrari back there in third at 377, but Renault right there as well with 376. So Renault could potentially claim that third spot rather, which would be great to see for the Renault team. Racing Point back there in fifth at 354, and that is the last team in the 300-point range. And then Haas back there in sixth at 294 rather. Alfa Romeo in seventh, 264. Mercedes at 236. Red Bull at 181, and then McLaren at 155. But I tell you what, these top 2 spots and then third and fourth definitely still up for grabs here. This looks like it's going to come down to the wire, and I tell you what, this is going to be a big day today for both these teams. But I tell you what, Will Ans in that AlphaTauri, what he didn't want to see was El Capitano continually joining and leaving the session. And I tell you what, speaking of Will Ans, it would appear that he's on a flying lap now. Now, I can't tell if this is an actual flying lap or he's going to come in pits, but he has set a purple sector 2. 4 minutes to go in the quali session. Puff Digital on provisional pole. Hatesite Gaming 0.2 of a second behind. Hatesite currently in the pits. Forza Juve, provisional pole. By 0.7 of a second is the next running car on the grid. 0.7 of a second, Forza Juve and then Mercedes. An absolutely brilliant lap, and here comes Will Ans to the line. Will Ans is going to go P9, so not exactly what he wanted. Definitely not what he wanted there, as Will Ans, I mean, he's got a lot of work to do today. Not necessarily for his promotion battle, but for the Constructors' Championship, he's got so much work to do. He definitely needs a good day. So Will Ans and Uncle Ben's Rice locked in for promotion next season. However, Soy Loco is the next up on that list at 192. Hatesite at 165, Monkey Mafia at 162, and Detail at 158. So pretty much Soy Loco has to put together a good result next week at Singapore when he is back. Because I tell you what, promotion is not out of reach for him, but it's also not out of reach for Hatesite, Monkey, or Detail. The fight to avoid relegation is very well contested as Ray 46 and Humble Hippo look to hold off Hightower heading into France today. The dark horse of Puff Digital is not eliminated from the battle just yet, although he's got some work to do, as Noganator is also there as well, although he is out today. So Hatesite Gaming, one of the drivers that really needs a good day today, has found himself just a little bit of consistency, as it looks like Murphy has cracked into the top 2 yet again. But Hatesite Gaming has invalidated his lap. And who's this? This is an Alfa Romeo that's gone off there. That happens to be Murphy, who is just kind of letting drivers by, and I think Hatesite has gone and done that as well, as that is the Williams of Monkey Mafia, who's just gone through that area there. But Hatesite Gaming needs himself a day here. He needs a win if he wants to stay in this promotion battle. As if there's going to be any day to do it, it's going to be today, as Soy Loco not here. Hatesite, he needs a result. However, what is Ben's Rice doing? Ben's Rice has just pulled a Mick Schumacher and is cutting the entire circuit. Now, is he just trying his best to get back to the line to start another lap? Because he has cut the entirety of Sector 1. And I think he's going to cut this corner as well. I think he's going to cut 8 and 9. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Uncle Ben's Rice is absolutely gunning for it right now. He's got 30 seconds to get back to the timing line to start his final lap. He has cut every inch of the track you can. Detail's gone from the session. Just retired. 20 seconds to go for Uncle Ben's Rice. He's cut the circuit more than a butcher. And he's still going. Now, I'm sure he doesn't want to invalidate now, as he won't get the time in. And yeah, unfortunately, Uncle Ben's Rice tried his damnedest to try to get into the, to get the one final lap in. It just didn't play out for him, unfortunately. Forza Juve has provisional pole for now. Humble Hippo is going to be next to the line. Still on a flyer. So Humble Hippo on his lap. Yep. Oh, is it? It's quali session raining. Oh, looks like it's starting to rain here in the quali session. Next to the line looks to be the Williams of Monkey Mafia, who needs a good lap here. And Monkey Mafia to the line is going to go P13. Not exactly what he needed. However, I tell you what, Saffron City, P3 for the man. I tell you what, and I've been really critical of Saffron City this year. He's put together an absolutely amazing lap. Sorry, I'm just responding to Ben's Rice in the chat right now. Ironic, the quali rains right before the race. I don't think we're actually going to end up having a rain race. Before is the Juve taking pole position by 0.3 of a second on Murphy. Saffron City in third. Puff Digital taking fourth. Humble Hippo in fifth. Now text-to-speech on his MidWest F1 debut goes P6. Very nicely done from him. That's a pretty good lap right there if I say so myself. Let's go over our qualifying results once they pop up on screen. Forza Juve in the Mercedes taking pole position. Murphy in second. Saffron in third. Puff Digital fourth. Humble Hippo fifth. Text-to-speech in sixth. Hey Titan seventh. Eighth is Uncle Ben's Rice. Ninth is Chief Braids. 10th Detail. 11th Capitano. 12th Nero Nix. 13th Monkey Mafia. 14th Will Hands. 15th Adaltonian. 16th Swooned Up. 17th Hightower. 18th 346. 19th M Galloway. And rounding up the field in P20 is CRO Pocket Rocket. Now, I tell you what, Will Ans has himself some work to do. P14. He's got a long road ahead of him. Let's see what he can do. And we've done plenty of time here, so I don't think we need to worry. But be sure to check out the Slipstream podcast on Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are available, as Adol Tony and Lingy 12 discuss all things Formula One and Midwest F1 League related. A very fun podcast to be a part of, and a very good time in general. So as we get onto the grid, it's time to go over tire strategy. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look right now as, who's got what tires fits here. And, yeah, it looks like we've got everything we need. So pretty much the bottom half of the field, all except Uncle Ben's Rice, has fit the medium tires. Now, I wrote this up beforehand, expecting nobody to use the soft tire, saying don't expect to see the soft compound tire be used too much today for even starting on the softs. Will guarantee the race being a two-stopper, with softs only being able to last 6 to 8 laps. Expanding the mediums might be the move to make, as even the hard tires will start to fall off towards the end of the stint. The medium compounds only last 12 to 14 laps with absolutely no margin of error. But if you are attempting the undercut, the earliest you'll be able to box is lap 9, as 18 laps in the hard compound for the second stint will be driving on eggshells towards the end of it. Don't be surprised to see those outside the top 10 start in the hards, as they rely on fresh pace on the mediums towards the end of the pit window, which is going to be around lap 18 to 20. Now, it looks like Nero Nix has found his way into the back of someone. Puff Digital is the answer to that, so they do keep their starting spot. However, the tires are going to be ice cold at the beginning of this race. And when I mean ice cold, I'm saying they're going to be freezing cold. So Puff Digital and Nero Nix probably not going to have the start that they hope for. Capitano and Hightower, the only two drivers in the field at the moment that have fit the hard compound tires. So my eyes are going to be on Saffron City here. Now, Saffron City today has a chance to get this battle for the Constructors' Championship within reach even more than it already is. In fact, this is probably going to be the best opportunity for that Williams team to do just that, as they have El Capitano and Will Ans starting outside the top 10. El Capitano starting P11, Will Ans starting P14. Now, Monkey Mafia in P13 is going to have to defend Will Ans, and he's also got Nero Nix next to him as well, as the field starts to line up here. Forza Juve taking the top spot on the grid. Murphy just driving straight through Puff Digital. Murphy, he could have a good start as well. Saffron City, he's there too. Humble Hippo, he's up there. Text-to-speech on his debut. Heitai Gaming in P7. Uncle Ben's Rice in P8. This could be one heck of a start here, lads. And here we go. Lights are coming on here at Circuit Paul Ricard. It's 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go here in France. And I tell you what, Forza Juve got an absolutely flying start. Cars spreading out everywhere, and it looks like that's Saffron City. He got away quite well. I think the Alfa Romeo of Murphinselli trying to get there as well, or Humble Hippo rather. All clean going through turn 1, but as we look back through the field, it looks like 3 wide back there. It looks like Heitai got shuffled back just a little bit more than he'd probably like, as he's got Puff Digital right there. Detail trying to move onto the inside of Chief Braids. This one is going to be an absolute mess going through these first couple corners. We got 2 cars off. That's going to be Detail, and it's going to be Spool and Dub as well. And just as I said, they were in a really good position. Unfortunately, that's not come to fruition. But Forza Juve taking the lead. And Saffron City's moved up into second, so he's made a great overtake somewhere as well. That comes the Alfa Romeo of Humble Hippo, trying to get around text-to-speech. Alfa Romeo's probably had a really good start here. Monkey Mafia drops down to P13 and 14. He looks to be battling with both the Pocket Rocket and Will Ans. Now, as we look along with Pocket Rocket, Capitano's behind him. It looks like Hightower wants the outside. Capitano's going to try for the inside. He's not going to make it stick this time. Look back through the order. Ben's Rice trying to make his move on Puff Digital. Oh, who's that back there? That looks to be the Alfa Romeo. Oh, and it's Humble Hippo. Oh, and Humble Hippo, who was having a brilliant start to this race, has unfortunately gone off. Man, and that is not what you wanted to see there, as it looks like Saffron City got exponentially wide on exit of turn 15, and we make it 1 lap without a safety car. Now here comes Murphinselli down to the inside of Saffron City going into turn 1, and a beautiful overtake there. That was from Murphinselli. Nicely done from him. As you look a little bit further back, here's Heitai. Now he's going to want this spot on text-to-speech. Heitai, I believe, made up 2 spots on the beginning of the race, and yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Puff Digital falling off 2 spots himself, as it looks like Humble Hippo and Spool and Dub coming into the pits. Now, along with Heitai Gaming here, right behind text-to-speech, trying everything he can to maybe force a mistake out of him. And now as they head through turn 7, oh, and I think Heitai Gaming maybe got the better line. Though it looks like text-to-speech is matched on pace at this moment in time. Look a little bit further back. Here's Niru Nix. Oh, he's gotten into Chief Braids. And Chief Braids, who was having not a bad start to this race either, has gone around in significant fashion after making contact with Niru Nix. And as we look a little bit further up, here's Pocket Rocket to the left side of Monkey Mafia as they go through 10. Now this could get dicey very quickly, as Monkey Mafia, he pretty much has to get to the left side of the circuit by the exit of the corner. Pocket Rocket down to the inside again, and that's a beautiful overtake as they go through 11. Still side by side. Oh, and as I say, beautiful overtake, they've gone off. Monkey Mafia and Pocket Rocket, both of them having great starts to this race. And it's all for nothing, unfortunately. Hopefully we get the replay on that from Monkey Mafia's perspective. Forza Juve setting the fastest lap. He's also got a 1.5-second gap back to second place of Murphinselli. Uncle Ben's Rice. Now he wants this move on Puff Digital, but I don't think he's going to be making it into turn 1 right this second. Puff Digital, though, he's putting a lot of pressure on Heitai. Uncle Ben's Rice not far behind as well. Saffron City, he's going to have to do a lot of defending from text-to-speech. Now this is a nice little train of cars here, as Saffron City doing everything he can to keep these cars behind him, and it looks like text-to-speech didn't get the line through 7 or 6 that he wanted, and Heitait's going to find his way around the left-hand side rather, and it's going to be side by side going into the corner. This one could be tough. Still side by side, doing everything they can to keep this racing clean, and Heitait's going to get the overtake there. Nicely done. He's got Puff Digital right behind. Puff Digital, he's known to make these crazy overtakes. Into turn 10, he's going to rely on text-to-speech and Heitai going wide through the corner. He's not going to file in just yet. Trying the inside. Has to lock up majorly going through that corner. Doesn't get the overtake. Text-to-speech did a great job of getting the position back. Puff Digital still right there trying everything he can. Heitai right to the back of text-to-speech. Out of turn 15, it's going to be side by side down the straight, and I tell you what, this is one of the better battles we've seen so far this season. Never mind this race. I tell you what, this one is quite nice to watch. Haytite around the right-hand side, and he's going to get that overtake nicely with the DRS. And that's Niru Nix, who's picked up time penalty for multiple warnings. Uncle Ben's Rice has a lot of work to do here. He's got Haytite in front of him. Oh, that's not Saffron. Oh, goodness me. I thought that Williams of Saffron City had gone around. Will Ans is having a considerably good day. Now, he's made his way up into P8, trying to find his way around text-to-speech. The medium tires of Will Ans not pulling any punches on text-to-speech. Text-to-speech is down to P7. He started P6 into turn 8. This one's going to be close, and Will Ans really having to lock up there to avoid a massive incident. Will Ans now to the left side. Still side by side. Hopefully they can take turn 10 clean. Will Ans doing everything he can to stick alongside text-to-speech, and it looks like text-to-speech maybe made a little bit of contact. Ooh, contact there for sure. Going through turn 11. That might open the door for Niru Nix, but a great move there from Will Ans puts him inside the top 8 positions, top 7 rather. Looks like now Niru Nix. Can he make the move around text-to-speech? Through turn 14 they go. Niru Nix down to the left-hand side. Text-to-speech doing everything he can to get every inch of the circuit he can. Niru's going to have DRS this time by. Going to try to find the right-hand side of the circuit. I'm not really sure why text-to-speech chose to block the inside lane. He should have chose to block the outside. As Niru Nix going to switch it back. Can he do it again? Gets into the left rear tire of text-to-speech. Still side by side, these two. Down into turn 3. Somehow, no collision there. Nice overtake from Niru Nix. I tell you what, that one looked pretty as well. Throw that one onto the highlight reel, but now here's Puff Digital. Now he's going to want the move around Haytite. Down into turn 8, he's going to get the slipstream. And Puff Digital making that overtake stick. Nicely done there, and he's got Saffron City in his sights next. Text-to-speech getting around Niru Nix. They're still side by side here, forcing Niru Nix off the track just a little bit. I don't know if Niru didn't get a good line or just genuinely forced him off the track. Saffron City, however, has picked up 3 seconds for time penalties, and I tell you what, that is not what he needed. Text-to-speech still doing everything he can to fend off Niru Nix. Not to mention that Capitano and Adeltonian also in this as well. Capitano, oh, and he got into the side of Niru Nix, somehow saved the car. Capitano did a great job of saving that car, as that car was very much sideways. And it looks like text-to-speech coming in now. Now he's chosen to take the soft compound tires, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, as he's definitely now going to have to make this race a 2-stopper. With some of these guys that started on the medium tire. If your name is Uncle Ben's Rice, Will Ans, Niru Nix, Adeltonian, you're in a very, very comfortable spot right now. As we go through, oh, I need the interval back. Looks like Uncle Ben's Rice. Can he get the move on Haytite? Haytite's made up 2 spots since the start. Although I must say, Haytite looks pretty vulnerable at this point in time, and Saffron City getting overtaken by Puff Digital. That one nicely done from Puff Digital. Saffron City getting oversteer, coming out of turn 8. Uncle Ben's Rice still trying to follow within the slipstream of Haytite. Through turn 10. Ben's Rice now down to the right side. Files back in. Still trying everything he can, and it looks like that is Niru Nix, who's just picked up the time penalty for multiple warnings. Now did Haytite start on that soft compound? And yes, he did. So Haytite's going to have to stop in soon. Saffron City, he's coming in now. So is Forza Juve, for that matter. So our leader, Forza Juve, and what was previously 4th place of Saffron City coming in. But here comes Uncle Ben's Rice. Now can he try to find the left side of Haytite down into turn 1? This one's going to be close. They do make contact, but I don't think it's enough to send anybody around. However, also lurking in on this battle comes the AlphaTauri of Will Ans. A 3-car battle here for the final podium position. It's going to come down to DRS for sure. Haytite getting very wide through turn 6. Uncle Ben's Rice trying to find the right-hand side. Now switches back to the left. Uncle Ben's Rice down to the inside. Will Ans still right here. This could open up the door for Will Ans as well. Into turn number 8. And Will Ans is going to get the position on Haytite as well. Haytite losing 2 spots within the DRS zone, and then turn 8. Definitely not what we needed. Or what he needed, rather. We? Who's we? Righto, anyways then. Will Ans. Still trying everything he can. Because I tell you what, Will Ans and Uncle Ben's Rice, as we said before, love-hate relationship between these two. And Will Ans definitely looking to get the better of Uncle Ben's today. And Uncle Ben's, same thing, looking to get the better of Will Ans. Looks like Murphinselli's come in now. Will Ans look to be struggling with the tires just a little bit. Oh, who's this? That looks like Detail. Now, something's happened back in this grouping of cars as Detail looks to be struggling for downforce. And whoa, geez, okay, that is a terrible pit entry, let me just say. Because it looks like any given time you go into the pits off turn 14, it looks like you're about to Grosjean yourself into the barrier. Will Ans looks to be stuck in between 7th and 8th gear. Uncle Ben's Rice doing a good job of keeping the pace similar between these two drivers. Looks like Uncle Ben's Rice didn't get the exit through 6th that he wanted, and Will Ans going to follow suit. The Renault of Niru Nix also in there. Oh, who's that? That looks like the McLaren of Puff Digital. Now, I tell you what's probably happened here. He's been caught out by the pit exit that goes right into turn 1. He may have been caught out by the braking zone, which I tell you what is not good. As I said before, whoever designed that pit exit, what kind of crack they were on, beyond me. But here comes Haytite. Now, can he look to the right side of text-to-speech as they go into turn 8? It looks like Haytite's going to get it before the corner. That was a nice overtake. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead still at large here as Will Ans trying to find some extra pace to get past Uncle Ben's Rice. Ben's Rice doing everything he can to keep the championship leader at bay. Capitano, meanwhile, only 0.4 of a second off the back of Niru Nix. Here comes Will Ans. Down into turn 1. I don't think he's going to have enough DRS this time by. And the answer is going to be no to that question. How about El Capitano? It's a Renault 1 and 3 versus a AlphaTauri 2 and 4. Not only would this race, if this result holds, which I'm not sure it will, not because of bad driving, just obviously because of changes in strategy and whatnot. But assume that this result would hold. I mean, this would be the best day that the AlphaTauri team has probably had all season, minus the time they went 1 and 2. Now here comes Capitano. He's going to try the right side of the track. Now Niru Nix was not giving him any room out there, but Capitano making the move stick. Now that one was brilliant, I will say. Nicely done there from Capitano. Niru Nix isn't done, however, but meanwhile we're going to focus in on M. Galloway. He's moved himself 13 spots up the order, and he's going to go past Aid Eltonian around the right-hand side, and M. Galloway finds his way into the top 5. Now that was a great overtake from M. Galloway, and remember last week he had that incident in turn 1 at Hungary, going across the grass and just kind of panicking his way into an incident and panicking his way out of a top 10, and that's exactly what he wants to avoid this week. And I tell you what, he's done a great job of moving up the order 14 spots since the beginning of the race. Field starting to get just a little bit more dispersed than I'd rather liked right now. But not too dispersed, as Will Ans still trying to find his way around Uncle Ben's Rice. Remember, Niru Nix Can he find his way around Capitano? Now, this is going to be interesting here because Capitano on the hard compound tires. What's this here? Is that fastest lap by Hatesite? Forza Juve has just picked up 3 seconds. Now, Niru Nix on that medium compound. El Capitano started on the hards. So does that mean Capitano is going to be on the mediums at the end of the race and probably have a good run? We'll have to wait and see. Now, here comes Will Ans again. Now, Uncle Ben's Rice looks to have Will Ans absolutely matched for pace right here. Over here's Niru Nix to the inside of El Capitano, making the move stick. Unfortunately, I missed out on that one, as it looks like Hightower's just picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Now here comes Will Ans through turn 11. Now Will Ans, can he look to the inside of the circuit? No, he's going to follow right in the slipstream of Uncle Ben's Rice. Niru Nix made that move on El Capitano's stick, however. Niru Nix getting very wide on exit of turn 11. That could have opened the door. Oh, and it looks like Ray 46 has something happened to him as Adaltonian moves up the order, and he's in a battle with Hightower. Side by side now through 13. Into 14. Adaltonian cutting off the inside. And Hightower goes around right in the path of Forza Juve. And you might want to check the fire suit of Forza Juve, as I'm sure it is a new shade of brown after that. Here's Ray 46 to the inside of Adaltonian. Still side by side. Adaltonian across the curve, and I'm pretty sure that's just picked him up a time penalty. Down into turn 3. This is a great camera angle, this is. Ray 46 doing a good job. Red Bull, 5th and 6th at the moment. Capitano now. Can he get past Niru Nix? Down to the left side. And wow. Niru Nix just looked absolutely outmatched there. And Capitano finds his way into the top 3 once again, but Niru Nix, he's not giving up. Will Ans still within half a second on Uncle Ben's Rice. As we go a little bit further back, Adaltonian now, he's going to want to find his way around Ray 46. Gap now within 0.3 between the leaders. Ugh. Forza Juve, as soon as I cut away from him, makes the overtake around Adaltonian. Now is he going to try for Ray 46? Down to the inside he goes. Not going to get it as Ray 46 looks to shut the door. Ray 46 getting a little bit wider out of 11 than he would have liked. Trying his best. Oh, and Adaltonian's going around. Adaltonian's put Forza Juve around. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's happened there, as there was clear contact between Adaltonian and Forza Juve. I don't think there was any discrepancy there or any disagreements to be found. There was definitely contact being made. Adaltonian finds himself up into 5th. However, if he's following the strategy with Ray 46, he could be pitting this lap. So Ben's Rice has inherited the lead. Niru Nix still in 3rd. Capitano's found his way into 2nd. Ray 46, look at him up in 4th. And he also doesn't have a time penalty. That's going to come in handy as well, and I'm pretty sure Niru Nix. Nope, he's still at 3 seconds, but I tell you what, Capitano has been giving him an absolute run for his money, and I tell you what, don't be surprised if he finds another time penalty trying to make an overtake as they head into turn 8. Wow, and I really thought that I was going to curse him there, and that was how it's going to happen. Oh, Niru Nix getting a lot of oversteer coming out of turn number 9, and it looks like Hightower making his move around Adaltonian. Now Murfinselli wants in on this as well. Adaltonian back to the right side of Hightower. Now he's going to follow within the slipstream. Adaltonian making moves in this race. He's up 9 spots since the beginning, so a solid result from him. However, everybody in the top 6 of the field right now still has yet to pit. As Murfinselli within a 1/10 of a second on Adaltonian. Through turn 12 now. Murfinselli started P2 on the grid, right to the back of Adaltonian. Now down into turn 14. And Adaltonian's going to go for the pits? Is Adaltonian... Okay, wow, alright, that was an interesting way to take the pit entry. As we saw on the broadcast angle, there wasn't any contact to be made. I think he kind of just... I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard to remember where that pit exit is, or pit entry, rather. Niru Nix within 0.2 of a second on Capitano as they go through 3, 4, and 5. This little chain of corners going into Sector 2. I will say, it does look like Nero Nix is starting to struggle with grip just a little bit. As we saw it last lap as well, he had some oversteer on exit of turn 9, and I think he's just had some there on exit of turn 7. Yellow flag in Sector 1. That is a Alfa Romeo, and that looks like Humble Hippo that's gone off. Oh, don't rejoin the track across. Oh, and that one's going to look good on the highlight reel as he's absolutely killed that Pirelli sign. Now he's got a piece of styrofoam stuck to his wheel. Free advertising there for Rolex and Pirelli as Humble Hippo goes through the signage. H-Type, can he get the move on Hightower going into 10? Is this 11? No, this is 10. That little section right there is 10. This is 11. I keep forgetting that, to be honest. H-Type's still doing everything he can to try to find a way around Hightower. That might be the opening he needed, as Hightower did not get the line through turn 12 that he wanted, and he goes wide and picks up the time penalty, and yeah, there goes H-Type picking up the spot. Now H-Type. Has he stopped already? H-Type has stopped and fit softs. As Nero Nix now comes in, and yep, hit does the lag. Hightower has yet to stop. Forza Juve around the right side. Now if we look on who's on what tire, Capitano on the hards, Forza Hightower rather on the hards, Uncle Ben's Rice on fresh hards, Will Ann's on fresh hards. And if we look at the gap to the leader right now, oh, I forgot to time how long it is through the pit. I'll have to do that once, well, who hasn't pit yet? So Hightower hasn't stopped yet, Capitano hasn't stopped yet, but he's also on the hards. No, Hightower, those 13 lap hards. Humble Hippo has yet to stop, so whenever he comes in next, I'll have to check. Go back to the... Yep, so all but 2 in the field has stopped. Back to the interval we go, and it looks like Forza Juve is still trying his best to try to get round H-Type here. Uncle Ben's Rice and Hightower fighting for position. Hightower doing his best to hold off Uncle Ben's Rice here, and I tell you what, he's not doing a bad job of it either. If you get the overtake on Uncle Ben's Rice, you're doing something right, especially on 12-lap-old harder tires. Ben's Rice now down to the inside. Now Ben's Rice, now he's going to try this overtake, and he's got DRS as well. However, Hightower still looks to have enough pace to maybe try to hang it in there. And it looks like Uncle Ben's Rice is going to get that overtake with ease. Forza Juve trying to follow in the footsteps of H-Type Gaming. Now H-Type on that soft compound tire. I feel like pretty much anyone right now that is on that medium compound is going to have to stop again. I don't think that the medium compound can last to the end of the race. Not another 12 laps. You're not doing 20 laps on the medium compound. Now here comes Forza Juve down to the inside of H-Type, down into turn 8. Side by side here still. H-Type using every inch of track that he possibly can, and it looks like Forza Juve is going to end up with the spot anyways. Very fun battle this is, and who's that that's just left the session? Capitano has gone and left the session. H-Type Gaming still trying to find a way to open the door on Forza Juve. However, here comes Uncle Ben's Rice. He wants into the mix as well. Field getting a little bit bunched up here, I will say. Very nice to see. Look, here comes Saffron City. Now, he's in an interesting spot here because he's P8. He's fit medium tires. So he'll probably have to stop again. And in comes Hightower. H-Type came in as well. Texas Speech moves up into 7th. Saffron moves up into 6th. Does Saffron potentially have a move on Will Ann's here? Saffron is on 9-lap-old medium tires. Capitano went leading the race currently, but he kept leaving and joining back. Now he's slowly losing tons of time to Murphincelli here. And when I mean tons, I mean it was 2.1 seconds going into Sector 1. It's now 1.3. Capitano, I hope he is able to regain control of his car. And no, it looks like he's got a red X across his name. Monkey Mafia. On the topic of a constructor's battle, Monkey Mafia not having the day that he needs. It's down in P18 at the moment in time as Merfancelli makes a move for the lead and gets around what appears to be the AI of El Capitano with ease. Now my question is how fast is Capitano going to move down the grid now that he's an AI? Because you have Will Ans up there. You also have Saffron City, who, by the way, is trying to make a move as we speak, who's also has text-to-speech on the doorstep of this battle as well. We got Monkey Mafia down there in P18 on the 13-lap-old medium tire, so he pit at least once already. It'll be his second stop when he comes in again. Will Ann's a little bit heavy on the brakes there, forced Saffron City into a mistake as well, and in comes text-to-speech. Again, I still think that Saffron City's going to have to pit again. I don't think that this result's going to hold for him, unfortunately. In fact, I think anybody that hasn't fit the hard tire is going to have to stop again. It looks like Haytite's done just that as well. He's also boxed. Capitano's gone and left the session. Puff Digital, now he wants in on this battle as well, because he's got Saffron City in front of him, who you could argue Puff Digital could outpace him on the hard compound tires, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Puff Digital down to the inside, and he's going to get the position. Nicely done there from Puff Digital, and Will Ans finding his way around his robot teammate. Field managing to find their way around the robot of Capitano with ease so far. But that sort of thing doesn't always happen, and I tell you what, Saffron's gonna get held up. Oh no, Saffron into the back of the robot! I mean, it's a little ridiculous at this point that robots can get away with ruining drivers' races. Nothing wrong with Capitano or whatever's happened to him that's forced him to leave the session. But I feel like something like that is just inexcusable. We have a yellow flag over in Sector 2 that looks to be potentially Monkey Mafia. Something's gone off there. Now Forza Juve's come in. Puff Digital. I tell you what, Puff Digital staying within 0.8 of a second on Will Ans. That's going to be a battle to watch shortly. More importantly, it looks like Pocket Rocket and Haytite. Haytite, can he go down to the inside? He's going to try the double overtake. Can he get it again on Ray 46? He's got it on Pocket Rocket for now. Oh! And Haytite getting into Pocket Rocket out of turn 2 in a virtual safety car. Haytite Gaming wanted the position on Pocket Rocket. And Haytite Gaming, not what he needed, not what Ferrari needed, who was in a great place for the Constructors' Battle. Unbelievable there. Heartbreak for Haytite Gaming, as him and CRL Pocket Rocket get into it on exit of turn 2. So unfortunate there. Now Nero Nix, he's got to find his way around the robot of Capitano, who has joined again. Now look at this. Now again, the robot just in the way. What is this? The robot getting dicey with Nero Nix here. Just made contact with Nero Nix about 5 times through that sequence. M. Galloway wants in on this as well. I tell you what, the Red Bull Garage has had themselves a decent day so far. P9, P10. Who's just picked up that warning? That looks to be Haytite. And you can't blame him as well. He's got absolutely no downforce, considering that his wing is somewhere off in turn 3. Capitano appears to have rejoined. Wow, okay. Capitano's just gone across the curb. Interesting way to do it, I'll say that much. As we look up through the field, not all that much going on, although I will say it looks like Puff Digital trying to make a move on Will Ans here. trying to find his way down to the inside. I don't think he's going to get it this time by, however, Puff Digital in a very good spot. Trying everything he can to potentially get around the championship leader. He's going to try to find his way to the right side. Into turn 10. A great battle this is here. Will Ans shutting the door through turn 10, now through turn 11. Puff Digital not getting the line that he wants. Someone's just picked up more multiple warnings. It looks like Puff Digital. Unfortunate for him. Looks like M. Galloway trying to find his way to detail. So Murphy and Saffron pitting now. This is kind of exactly what we thought was going to happen. Now, I tell you what, I still think Saffron could potentially pull out a good result here. Although he's going to have a lot of work to do. And comes Galloway to the inside. He's trying to make the move on Detail. And he's going to do it with ease. Nicely done there, but Detail doesn't look to be done just yet. Detail still hot on the heels of M. Galloway going through the turn 3. Detail still trying everything he can. Waiting for Galloway to make a mistake or something. Because it looks like Galloway's just got him absolutely beaten for pace on 4-lap fresher hard tires. Puff Digital, he's within 0.2 of a second on Will Ans. Now can Puff Digital find the move? Going into 10. Or 11. Maybe 12? Puff Digital's got to find something that's working for him here. I tell you what, he carried a lot more pace through that corner than Will Ans did that time. But it just looks like Puff Digital's struggling through turn 12. I think that's where he picked up the time penalty last time round. I think we could be looking at a pass for the podium position this time by. Well, Will Ans doesn't have a penalty just yet. But, you know, still fun to see. And it looks like that is Monkey Mafia picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. Puff Digital doing everything he can to try to find his way around Will Ans. Now, him and Niru Nix both have time penalties, so at the moment it is a race for position for the 3rd spot. Murphy there did a nice job to get around M. Galloway. As soon as we cut onto it, the move was already made, though hopefully I can find a replay for that, because that was actually a pretty solid move, I tell you what, from what I could tell. Puff Digital still within 0.3 of a second. Can he find the inside? Overtake being made this time by potentially. It's still side by side, going through turn 8. Contact being made! And Puff Digital's gotten into Will Ans, or Will Ans has gotten into Puff Digital, rather. Wow, and there was just nowhere to go for either of the drivers, and Will Ans, for now, escapes with that. Neither of them have wing damage, and I tell you what, Puff Digital, probably not a happy camper right now. And I really thought we were looking at another DNF there. Or I say DNF, another huge incident there, because honestly, that would have been an absolute shame for Puff Digital. Murphy, he wants this move around Niru Nix very shortly. Very shortly could mean this straight. Murphy-Selly's got the soft tires on. He'll probably be able to be good for the rest of the race, as he now gets past Niru Nix and sets the fastest lap of the race. Very nicely done from him. Now, if we look at the penalties, Puff Digital is 3 seconds. Murphy-Selly's about 6.5 seconds back. Will Ans getting a lot of oversteer out of turn 5. Can Puff Digital make the move again? He's got a lot of slipstream on Will Ans. Down to the inside. Can he make the move? And the answer is going to be no for... potentially. Gets into the back of Will Ans. Will Ans goes mega wide out of turn 9. This battle's going to get spicy real quick. I know France isn't really known for that, for their spices, and well, Circuit Paul Ricard has put together some sleepers in previous years, but I tell you what, Division 2 putting in a hot one today. Down to the inside goes Puff Digital. He wants the spot. He's going to go across the curbing somehow, some way, doesn't pick up a time penalty. Still 0.3 of a second the gap. Yellow flag over in Sector 2. That looks like... Oh, and that's El Capitano that's gone round. More importantly, Puff Digital still doing everything he can to try to get around Will Ans as they head through turn 15. Murphinselli slowly but surely closing the gap. In fact, it was 6 seconds last lap. It's now down to 4.5. Puff Digital, now can he make the move on Will Ans? Down into turn 1. Not going to get it this time by, and you have to keep Murphinselli in your rearview mirror, or at least keep an eye on him, because he is coming fast. Puff Digital doing everything he can to try to move around. Oh, and Will Ans has picked up 3 seconds. Not what Puff Digital needed, and now this is officially a battle for position here, and Murphinselli within 0.5 of a second. Within 0.2 now of Puff Digital. Down into turn 8 again. Who's going to get the better of it this time? It's now going to be a battle for position. Unless Murphinselli can find his way into this, he could potentially take second. Puff Digital right to the gearbox of Will Ans. Oh, and he's going to slip. And Puff Digital losing a lot of ground there, and now Murphinselli right within striking distance. Murphinselli could now spoil the party of Will Ans. Will Ans, by the way, going to be absolutely fuming that he's not been able to get past Uncle Ben's race. I can tell you that right now. Oh, and there goes Puff Digital around into the wall. And Puff Digital was just having such a good race. Oh, and it looks like Nero Nick's got into him as well. But you have to feel for Puff Digital. He was throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the track. Nearly came up with it, and I guess he's going to take some signage with him. Just an absolute heartbreaker for Puff Digital, and I mean, honestly, he was having such a good day prior to this point. And he's going to go and retire from the session. So unfortunate for Puff Digital, as he was looking to make amends for last week and the conundrum that happened there, and unfortunately, it's just gone the wrong way around. M. Galloway now doing everything he can. He's going to try to find his way past Forza Juve now. He's in a good spot here, and it looks like he could potentially close in on Nero Nix. That's got 3 seconds as well. That's going to be fun to watch. More importantly, Murphinselli. Now, he's got Will Ans ahead of him with the 3 seconds. Murphinselli could potentially be looking at second place here. And as we look on what this could probably do to the championship race, it just feels like that Williams team is going to have a lot more work to do next week going into Singapore. Though you never know. I mean, Sefron up to P10, so a solid race from him. That whole section of cars has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So you never know. Now here comes Murphinselli. He wants to the back of Will Ans. Going to be down into turn 1. I don't think Murphinselli's going to get it this time by. Granted, Murphinselli really doesn't need to try too hard for this position. As you know, Will Ans does have that 3-second penalty now down into turn 3. Murphinselli, he wants this position. He's not just going to let the penalties do the work for him. He's going to go around the outside through turn number 5. Can he make the overtake stick? Trying to find his way around Will Ans, and that's a beautiful move from Murphinselli. But Will Ans is not giving up yet. Will Ans going to move to the right side of the circuit. It's going to be side by side going into turn 8. Look at the pace that Will Ans has. With the DRS, with the hard compound tires. Will Ans getting a lockup through turn 9. I mean, this is a good battle, no matter which way you look at it, even if Will Ans does have the penalty. Still incredible. Looks like Capitano has done something. Capitano set the fastest lap. Interesting. Anyways. Now this could be a potential spoiler to the party here. M. Galloway. Oh, I was okay. All right, M. Galloway was the one that made the conundrum at Hungary last. So I keep getting those two confused on account of them racing at Brazil that time. They kind of just go hand in hand with each other, and unfortunately, I've mistaken Puff Digital for him. So apologies to Puff Digital there. I didn't really mean to do that. So caught up in my own words there, unfortunately. But now Murfancelli to the inside of Will Ans. It's going to be side by side through turns 1 and 2. Murfancelli wants this position. No, and they're going to get side by side. They're going to make contact. Will Ans off into the barriers almost. Somehow, some way, we haven't had a late race crash. Will Ans just put the save of his life together. And now Murfancelli, now he's going to want this position. I don't know what's happened between these two drivers. Contact was made. Down into turn 8, and Murfancelli is going to get the spot. For now, I will say. And someone's been caught for speeding into the pit lane. Will Ans doing everything he can to stay hot on the heels of Murfancelli. Forza Juve's picked up 6 seconds of penalty. Now comes Will Ans to the outside. Will Ans just simply isn't going to get the pace right now. Will Ans doesn't have to worry about Forza Juve. Because Forza's got 6 seconds of penalties. M. Galloway in position to potentially be a spoiler to this race. Can we look at the gap to the leader? M. Galloway could potentially steal a podium position here. He's got a lot of work to do. But with the DRS, oh, what's happened here? It looks like someone has done something. It looks like up ahead, maybe the Alfa Romeo of Humble Hippo, rather, and Monkey Mafia got into it. M. Galloway not that far off of a podium finish here. And I mean just outside the cusp. He's got to put together an absolutely perfect lap and hope that Will Ans makes a mistake. Uncle Ben's Rice making his way through Sector 3. Will Ans trying to get back at Murfancelli, but Uncle Ben's Rice, he's out to the lead. He's got 17 seconds worth of gap. Now here comes Will Ans again. Will Ans wants this spot off of Murfancelli. He's not going to give it to him that easy. Down to the inside. Side by side through turn 11. Uncle Ben's Rice is going to come home and take the win at Circuit Paul Ricard. But momentarily, we have a battle for this spot that could end poorly. Uncle Ben's Rice come to the line. He's going to do the Max Verstappen burnout, and Uncle Ben's Rice taking the win here at Paul Ricard. But more importantly, still the battle for the second position that Will Ans isn't going to get. And Murfancelli making his way to the line. A great finish from Murfancelli. Absolutely brilliant race that was. Now, is M. Galloway in position? And M. Galloway P4. Nicely done from M. Galloway. P20 to P4. The BWT Racing Point team, look at them. P7, P8. Nicely done from them. Where's Sefron gone? Sefron P9. Solid finish from him. It's not been the easiest year for him whatsoever. But a very, very good race there, and I tell you what, that one was fun to watch. Uncle Ben's Race put on a clinic. And text-to-speech, finishing P8 on his debut. Now, if we look at the detail to that, text-to-speech did lose 2 positions there, but a very, very good result for Uncle Ben's Rice, taking the win here in France, and I tell you what, it was a well-earned one as well. M. Galloway finishing P4 from starting at the back of the grid. That was a good performance from M. Galloway, and our podium finishers, Uncle Ben's Rice, Murphy, and Will Ans. A very, very fun race to watch here, and I tell you what, the Alfa Romeo team, maybe just Murphy, but the Alfa Romeo team getting a little bit of vengeance after last season's France race, after both Alfa Romeos went spinning out of the top 10 within the first couple corners, and I tell you what, that one is due justice there. But as we go through our final standings here, Uncle Ben's Rice in first, Murphy second, Will Ans in third, Galloway fourth, Niru Nixon fifth, Forza Juve sixth, Detail in seventh, eighth is Text-to-Speech on his debut, ninth is Saffron City, Hightower 10th, Ray 46 and 11th, 12th is Chief Grades, 13th CRO, Pocket Rocket, 14th Adoltonian, 15th Spooned Up, 16th El Capitano, 17th Hate 18th Monkey Mafia, and then 19th Humble Hippo, and then rounding out the field in 20th is Pop Digital, and we will get to those interviews right now. Right, so I am here with two-thirds of our podium finishers, Will Ans and Murphy. Now, Will Ans, I'm going to start with you. So, you were one of the few drivers in the field that actually caught on to the idea of qualifying on the medium compound and going into the race, making it a one-stop race. I mean, how much thought did you have to put into the going into the tire strategies tonight?
I really wanted to start on the mediums. I knew the medium hard or the hard medium was going to be the strategy of choice. What I didn't count on was me being an absolute pleb and ruining my first medium lap by nearly spinning, and then my second medium lap I was on the same set of mediums, so with the wear it just wasn't very quick. But still wanted to start on the mediums.
I mean, I tell you what, it's felt like it's been a while since I've actually interviewed you for the podium. It's been a couple weeks at least, and I tell you what, it's good to have you back here now, going into the final race of the season at Singapore. You've got promotion locked into next season. I feel like the only place that work is going to have to be done is for the Constructors' title. Now, I tell you what, AlphaTauri definitely had the better of Williams today. Williams had a, I don't want to say terrible day, but it was not pretty. So going into the final race of the season, what are your thoughts? And I tell you what do you think of this season that you've had so far?
I mean, if El Capitano just had a slight little bit more luck, we'd be home and dry, I think. I mean, you saw today he disconnected. He disconnected in qualifying in Baku and missed the whole race. I mean, that guy can't get a break, so if he wasn't so unlucky, I think we'd be laughing. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Did we outscore Williams today?
Well, you got first, Saffron got 9th, and then Monkey got like 18th, so I think you could have.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I think Capitano was right down there with him, actually, if I'm completely honest. But,
he disconnected and then rejoined, but just lost a lot of time doing so. But, I mean, we were in the lead and then we stretched the lead, so going into the last race, we just need to outscore them, which we've been doing pretty easily recently, so hopefully El Capitano doesn't disconnect or spin or something, we should be okay.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's been an absolutely... And I tell you what, you had no shortage of action today either. I stuck around with you pretty much your whole drive, and I tell you what, that was really entertaining. Congratulations on the podium finish, and hopefully you can keep it together for another one next week at Singapore for the final round of the season. Be sure to stay tuned, guys, for the end of this, because we got some special announcements to make. Murphy now, I tell you what, you guys at Alfa Romeo have been due for a good result. And you guys have also been due justice from last season, where Alfa Romeo both started in the top 10, and then immediately got spun out of the top 10 within 3 corners. I tell you what, you've done just that today. You finished second. That's been an absolutely great drive from you. Tell me your thoughts going into the race with the strategy and all the other factors going into it.
That was a lot of laps around this track to see what tires would work. I learned from my mistakes in the practice race on Tuesday that the soft, medium probably wasn't a good call. I decided to go with the soft, medium, soft today. It seemed to work out because those hard guys were hurting for traction when I had fresh softs, so I figured that would help, and it definitely did.
Well, I tell you what, it was very fun to watch the different strategies and watch you climb through the field as well and kind of hold your ground up there. You two had quite a couple little things happening there in those last 5 laps. Nearly, oh boy, that was tough. But that was very fun to watch, and you guys fully deserve to be on the podium this week. Next week, going into Singapore, the last race of the season, last race on F1 2020 for the league. I tell you what are your thoughts going into Singapore? Because this one's going to be a hard one.
Singapore is always hit and miss, right? I mean, you got nowhere to pass. It's lots of tricky turns, a lot of missed braking points, a lot of probably broken front wings. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's always been an okay track for me, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, well, thank you guys both for joining us now. We have 2 announcements that I've been told to make this week. Now, we've got this new point system in place, and I've been told to go over both Division 3 and Division 4, the other 2 divisions coming out, I guess, probably next week. But if I'm reading this right, Division 3 gets 57 points for a win. Division 4 gets 44 points for a win. I don't know if Pork wants me to go through this whole list. I feel like that'd be kind of a mess to go through 40 different points outcomes. But so all new point system for the upcoming season. Definitely looks like it's going to be aimed more towards the overall constructors battle between all 5 divisions coming in now. We're going to add our 5th division next season, so that's very exciting. And I tell you what, Will Ans, you already know about this, but next week at Singapore, my final race for Div 2 for now, as Fallen Monkeys comes in from Division 3. We're going to do a seat swap, and I tell you what, it's been a fun ride with Division 2. This is just for now, by the way. I hope so, at least, as, I think Division 2 fully deserves to be going live, as this definitely, in my opinion, the most exciting division in the league. But, so next week is going to be just a little bit of a, I don't want to say sad one, but bittersweet one, I suppose. But that's all for us here at France today. I tell you what, it's been an absolute great race for a track that is known for putting together sleepers. This was an absolute eye-opener. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week when we tackle Singapore.